Hello, my fellow HR professionals. This is Eric from Standard Consult. I am a data analyst and also a Microsoft Office specialist. I would like to invite you to our 2023 Data Analytics course for HR professionals. This training seeks to equip the individual with the various tools and skills that are needed to become a professional HR analyst. The training will cover three most important aspects when it comes to data analytics. That is the Microsoft Excel, HR matrices, and also dashboard. Under the Microsoft Excel, we'll be looking at the various functions and formulas that are necessary or that are needed to become a professional data analyst. We'll look at the various charts that are needed when it comes to dashboard. And we'll also look at the various functions and techniques that we can employ to help us analyze our data, especially pivot tables. We'll also go on and look at the various HR matrices that we can use to measure the performance of our employees and also the performance of the company. We'll look at example, cost per hire, we'll look at revenue per employee, we'll look at the attrition periods and all that. Lastly, but not the least, we'll go on to look at how to create dashboard for decision making and also how to present your data in a way that is globally accepted for management. We'll look at some dashboard, including the HR management dashboard, which will come out beautiful like this. Then we'll also look at, as a group, we'll also decide to look at something on COVID and see how we can present it in a way that we can make meaningful decision out of it. One thing I know for sure is that gives you value for money. I would like to see you all in our next training. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. And a happy Mother's Day to our amazing, hardworking, awesome mothers who are making a lot of sacrifices for our kids, for the world even to be a better place. Welcome to today's edition of the HR Digest, the Mother's Day edition. We are glad that you could join us as usual. If you have joined us, kindly drop your name and where you are watching us from in the comment section. Then we will acknowledge you. Also, as you know, throughout the discussion, you can leave your questions, you can leave your comments in the comment section, and we will pick it up. Thank you so much for making the time to be here. Today's edition is very special because today I'm hosting three amazing women, mothers, professionals who are making so much impact in their various fields. And we are indeed privileged to be hosting them today. They have gone through the mills. They have done so much. They have raised kids and they are building successful careers. How did they do it? We'll get to learn more from them as they share their experiences with us so that we can learn a thing or two. And then those of us who are struggling, we would learn something that will help us keep a healthy balance. Thank you, Josephine, for joining us from all the way from Takoradi. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to introduce our guests briefly, and then when they come, they will tell us more about themselves and then also give us the initial comments before we zoom into the discussion. In no particular order, our first guest in no particular order is Yvonne Redu Apabli. Those of you who have been with us throughout the weeks. You know that Yvonne is not new to this platform. Yvonne has a 7 years experience in pure HR practice, undiluted HR practice. He also holds LLB. He's a certified HR professional, and he practices across industries within Ghana, in the banking, in the media, in the telcos. And he's the lead consultant at H4 Factor. She's also the coordinator at Takwa Foundation, an NGO that supports needy children and teenage girls, and adjunct instructor at HR Certification Center and also the CIHRM. She is a wife and a mother of 4 amazing kids. And she loves having fun, and then anything cooked with corn. Right. So please, if you want to serve her anything, make sure there is corn inside. All right. So we are privileged to be hosting Yvonne. Yvonne, thank you so much for making the time again to be here with us. We also have Sandra Delali. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to nurturing couples, you can't go wrong with Sandy. Sandra is an event consultant with over 15 years experience in event management and planning. She is a certified relationship advisor and strategist, a coach with over 10 years experience, and she is a women empowerment motivational speaker. She runs a women's empowerment virtual group called Real Moms Connect, of which I'm a proud member. And then this group connects mothers, and there's a lot that you can learn. So she will tell us more about it and how we can be part as mothers, because it's really amazing. You learn a lot, and you shorten your learning curve as a mother. And she also hosts the Real Talk with Sandra show, a virtual platform where people are taught how to build beautiful, healthy relationships and marriages by emphasizing on values. Sandra, it's so good to have you here. Thank you for making the time to be here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Then our very own Emmeline. Those of you who have been here, Emmeline is not new to us. Emmeline is an SME consultant. She is a speaker, brand influencer, HR strategist, Pan-African business leader, and I'm emphasizing Pan-African because all over Africa. She's a trainer, she's a career coach, and serves in many boards. And she's also an events engineer, youth advocate, and a mentor. She is the founder of ICS Africa, a Pan-African company providing business and event solutions, which also serves as a country's representative for the Female Leaders and Entrepreneurs Conference powered by Compass Global, Lagos, Nigeria. Additionally, Emmeline is a certified John Maxwell speaker, coach, and trainer, and a member of the Association of Coaching Practitioners Ghana and Association of Certified HR Practitioners Ghana. Emmeline, so good to have you here once again. Thank you for making the time to be here. We appreciate you. Emmeline, yeah, okay. So ladies, it's so good to have you here. Thank you so much for making the time. Let's get your initial comments, and then we can zoom into the discussion proper. Let me start with Sandra.
Hi, Patricia. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Emmeline. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm so excited. And happy Mother's Day to every mother out there, whether you're a biological mother or you're an adopted mother, or so many facets of mothers out there today. And so happy Mother's Day to you all. Unfortunately, in England, we had ours in March, so we think we're exempt. But hey, we're still enjoying the Mother's Day greetings to all of you, and I'm sure we're in for a good time. And I'm so looking forward to the discussion. Thank you so much for putting this together, Patricia. It's amazing, and you are amazing, and you're doing amazing as well. God bless you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm following your steps, you know. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yvonne?
Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon to everyone listening to us, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers here, prospective ones, and fathers who have become mothers as well. Motherhood is a privilege, it's a blessing, and it is work. WORK. It's work.
I like that one.
So it's an honor, yeah, to be here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Yvonne, for making the time. Emmeline, darling, let's hear from you.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much, Patricia, for bringing this. As you can see, I'm actually on this thing's
Exactly.
already giving me a good time. Yes. We went shopping for the second one's birthday and went away home. Anyway, but this is a very very lovely time to celebrate mothers of all forms and to empower mothers and encourage them to continue the good work they do, because without them we don't have a legacy to protect, we don't have generations to secure. And so to everyone in the world who is a mother figure biologically or otherwise, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to you too. Awesome mother. Thank you. Thank you, Mondi, for joining us. Thank you, Michael, for joining us. Please remember that HR Digest is brought to you by Sedat Consult with support from Quick Fix Creatives. Contact Quick Fix Creative on 026 637 0480. 026 637 0480. Motherhood is work. That is what Yvonne says. So let me start with you on that note, Yvonne. What inspires you to be a mother and also a career or a professional at the same time? What is your inspiration?
I'll say it's my mom. I mean, I grew up to see her as a housewife in a very young age. And my dad wasn't in Ghana then. And then sending money was not as easy as it is today. Sometimes he will send it through people and it never gets to us. Then I noticed this woman started trading in secondhand clothing, yarn, buffalo, all sorts of things. We've sold them before. And sometimes you wonder why, if we bring the monies, she can't use some to buy a new cloth or a new shoe, and it's always channeled to us. And I'm like, okay, so this thing is not about her, it's really about us. And so I told myself, if I'm blessed to grow up and marry, I won't just be home and watch my husband. I would also work, if for nothing at all, to take care of myself. I mean, the children become the source of motivation for you. That is why you go out there, not just to
Exactly.
work and get the money, but also to be a role model, also to know what is happening out there to nurture them. So that for me, the real inspiration was how my mom was able to combine work that is not formal work anyway. Her work was home, tailoring, selling stuff, and also taking care of us, to the extent that sometimes she gets very good opportunities, like to go and sew in Cote d'Ivoire or Nigeria, and she will turn it down and tell us it's because of us she can't go. Yeah. So that was my motivation.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. Sandra, what has been your motivation?
Okay, I think I'll probably like follow a little bit on Yvonne's path, because when I was growing up, my mom was a baker, and she used to wake up very early in the morning to make sure that the bread is baked, the customers are getting their bread. And it was okay, it wasn't so much of a retail, it was more of a like a wholesale. And so she has to make sure that the customers are getting their souls ready to go.
Yeah.
And she was able to manage being a baker, being a mom, being a go-to person at the same time. And that was when we were in Ghana. And then when we came to England, there wasn't a single day that my mom would say, I'm not going to work. She would work and work. And my mom, even though she was a catering officer in a school, she still had loads of side hustles because she wants to make sure that her children are okay. And then my father died, and so she became the source of income. Let me use that word for her children. And so I grew up knowing that if you are a mother and you need to give your children the best, you have to be the best you can. You have to make sure that in as much as you are into your maybe full-time career, you can also branch out into having various side hustles, or we call that these days, maybe before we'll say side careers or side incomes. Side hustles. I mean, I love the term side hustle that can bring extra income to help you take care of your children. And so when I became a mom, I realized that, listen, if I want to have the best of the best for myself, for my family, my children to enjoy, then I need to make sure that I have to go do what I got to do to be the best I can be for my children to also know that, yes, if my mom is working, what stops me from working too? You know, at a point in England, my mom was working 7 days in a week.
Wow.
Yes, she'd go to school Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday was her part-time business. So she was working 7 days in a week. And at a point, I realized that this woman was really, really tired. But she would continue to say, Infanti, pardon me, I'll try and translate it. It means that if my kids are not well enough, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. And so that was like, if my mom is doing it, what stops me from doing it? Anyway, now she's on pension, so she's enjoying the fruit of her labor. So actually, that was my inspiration to know that, listen, when you're a mother, you still got to go.
Awesome. Wow. I'm really inspired. Thank you so much for sharing that. Then let me pick your mind on this. There are people who say that, look, it's so difficult to combine work and career. And so I would have to choose one. I would rather be a mother and stay at home or be a career woman. And sometimes those who decide to be career women also feel guilty about leaving their kids. What is your take on this? Should we pick and choose?
I don't really mind. It is difficult to be a career woman, a full-time career woman, and being a mother. I think even in Ghana, you have quite a lot of help around you. But for my part of the world, it's so difficult because if you want to take a nanny, it's expensive. If you want your kids to go into nursery, it's expensive. If you need to get childcare, it's expensive. But if you put all these things together and you still want to become the best that you can be for your kids, you will still go out there and get it done. And so it's all about finding the balance of being a career woman, of being a mother, of being a wife, and all that. It's about finding the balance. And the balance is doing the right thing at the right time. And so if you know that your career is so hectic that you can't work around your kids, then if you're married, you might need to now ask your partner to help with childcare or help pay for childcare or employ a nanny to help you with your children. Because trust me, you can't do it on your own if you are if you want to like be there for them and be a career woman. I'm sorry, but it's not easy. And talking about guilt, oh yes, we have the mom guilt where you really feel guilty about leaving your kids very early in the morning because you have to go, and maybe your baby is 6-7 months and you need to express your milk and put it in the fridge to be warmed and it gives, honestly, the guilt is real, but you know that you've got to put in your best if you want to give your kids the best. And so you sacrifice, you compromise, and then you be the best you can be to yourself and to your children. Absolutely necessary, but it's not easy.
It is not easy. Wow. Yvonne, you want to add anything?
Yes, it's about deciding what you want. And sometimes women feel, especially mothers, feel that it's, I don't know, for want of a better word, it's a sin to want to work and then abandon your family. In the world where we live now, there are bills to be paid. The kind of life you want, the kind of school you want your kids to attend, the man's pay alone cannot do it. It won't be adequate. So you need to support. And this is where the balancing that Sandra just talked about comes in. You need to get a balance. And this is also where sometimes I laugh at our Christian ladies. In Ghana, we have so much help around us, and they will be using witchcraft, and so the mother-in-law cannot come, witchcraft, the cousin cannot come, and she's doing it alone and suffering and struggling and crying. Some would quit the work, and then after 2 years, when they go back, the lady who didn't quit is now the boss, and they are angry. Okay, there is a support system around us here. You use it. You use it. I remember back in Ungwa, I would just give the baby to one neighbor. Just take care of the baby for me. Add the food. Lunchtime, I'll run and come. At every point, you sacrifice. Some people even think when the kids grow, it gets better. Teenagers are mysterious and bad. It gets worse.
Tell me
You
about
are in the
it.
office and you are you are thinking, what are they watching now? What are they doing now? Okay. So at every point in your life as a mother, it comes with challenges. So you ask yourself, how far should you go to sacrifice to build yourself? And here I want to add something, Pat. We don't work just for the money. It's also for fulfillment. It's also a means of getting away from all the stress of motherhood. So sometimes it's not just it's not because of the money. No. You just want to also be part of the Joneses, okay, when we are discussing issues. Because when you put yourself away to care for the kids, by the time you come back to work, let's even zoom down on just your classmates. They've gone ahead. So things that they are discussing become so theoretical to you, so difficult for you to understand, and it forces you to now form new friends and new networks. But believe me, after a year or two, you start feeling that you failed.
Yeah.
You've failed yourself, and then the guilt now is double. What Sandra talked about, you have the guilt of not pursuing careers for your life. You have the guilt of the kids as well, and some mothers even end up blaming their children. That is because of you, I'm where I am now. Meanwhile, it's really not about them. It's you who decided to make that choice. We are blessed at a time in our lives where the formal sector is opened up to women now. Our mothers didn't get that. So combining now is a bit easier. Another thing too is that the corporate world also now understand that women have both productive and reproductive responsibilities. Quite a number of them now have creches at the office place. So you come with the baby like data bank. I started work when my baby was still breastfeeding there. So I come in the morning, they bath the baby for you. Can you imagine? So I go in the morning, I just carry baby dress, everything, and send the baby there. They will bath the baby, and then every 2 hours, the head will call you to come and breastfeed. I mean, so for example, in such a situation, you are picking the job. It may not pay you well. Data bank was paying me well anyway, but because of the crash, you take the job so that the baby will be somewhere. Sometimes you take the job because there's a closer and a cheaper crash near that office. So it's the balancing act that the one Sandra talked about. That is really the issue here, not whether to work or not to work, but how do you balance it so that
it's so true.
The home
so
doesn't.
I've had to take my kids even to school and to my office before when they are off school. And I have 3 daughters, and I have to bring them to my office. They stay in my reception area whilst I'm dealing with clients. When my clients go, my kids will come into my office. When my next clients come, they go back into the reception area. And so it's all about finding the balance. You have to do what you have to do, So it's necessary, but it's difficult.
It is difficult. It's hard work. But we need the support. And then there's, apart from the fact that, Yvonne, when they come back to work, then they see their colleagues that they started work with even going higher and being promoted. There's also the possibility that you now want a job, and looking at the job situation in Ghana, you are not able to find, because I have a lot of mothers who are waiting to get employed because they left their jobs to raise their kids, and now they are back and the jobs are not there anymore. So it's finding a balance. Then that leads me to my next question. How, because I know you are doing that so well, Sandra and Yvonne, you are the balancing act. How did you do it? How are you doing it? Please share with us so that we can also learn from that. Let me start from Sandra.
Okay. Well, now my kids are much older, and so I work around them. Even when they were younger, I still work around them. My husband is a very busy person. He travels a lot, so most of the time it's just me and my girls. Now, like I said to you earlier, I've had to take my children to work before, or sometimes I ask my husband to drop them off if he has to go somewhere, or sometimes they go in. Well, before they used to go into my husband's office as well, and so we were like sharing them among us when they're off school. And what I do is, because I kind of like work for myself, it's quite easy to maneuver as to when and where they're off and from school and all that. Now, what I do is that my kids go to school not in the same town as me, but 2 towns away from us. And so when we drop them off at the train station, then I can get my work done till about 4 o'clock, when I've got to go back to the train station and pick them up again. And so I work around my children now. What I do is that, if, let's say, and because I do a lot of speaking engagements, which is quite sad sometimes, because I've got to drag my kids along with me to conferences that is so boring for them, to events that they don't want to do, to, like speaking engagements, like, mommy, can we wait in the hotel and all that? And sometimes it breaks my heart, but I'm like, I can't leave you anywhere. Listen, my mom lives in London. I live in Essex. So even if I have to go and leave my kids with my mom, it means I'm going to travel again to a different place. And so it's easier if I just go with them. And usually if it's on the weekend, it's quite easy, because then we have the hotel to ourselves. I go do my speaking thing and come back to them and all that. And so I work around them. And sometimes when my husband is also around or available, then he will take care of the childcare responsibilities. And trust me, the girls love being with their dad even more than me, because they think their dad is more fun than I am. He will take them out, by stuff, things I would say no, that he would say yes. So sometimes they think that I'm not that kind of a fun and parent, but I work around my kids. Yesterday I had to go to an event, and I had to leave them very early in the morning, but because they're much older now, I just had to let them sleep, leave them at home, go to my event, go do the event and come back. But when they were much younger, irrespective of what time I'm leaving home, I've got to drag them with me, and they'll be sleeping in the car, and we'll be buying takeaways, eating on rest stops and all that. But it's part of the journey. It's part of my journey, And listen, sometimes you feel guilty when, especially when you know that you have to go do an event, and it's been paid for, and so you have to go do it, and you have to drag your kids with you. Sometimes it breaks your heart as a mom to know that maybe your 4-year-old or your 5-year-old is sleeping, but you've got to say, baby, you have to wake up. Can we go? I'm running a bit late, and you're pushing them here. It breaks your heart, but you have to do what you have to do. And so we just need to find the balance is all. I mean, it's all about finding the balance. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You have, like Yvonne was saying, if you have the support system around you, you are so blessed. It's not like us. I don't have that kind of support around me. If I need to find support, I need to go like London, and to find the support, or ask my mom. And now she's a bit old. She's 75. I can't let this old lady be going on the trains and all that to come after my kid. It's not just right. And so, but if you have them around you, you are so blessed. Make good use of it. Here we have to pay for at a point. I have to employ somebody to look after my children. So if you have the support, just use it. It's not easy, but it's got to be done.
It's not easy, but it's got to be done. I remember when my daughter was a few months old, and I had a speaking appointment in Koforidua. I had to carry her.
It's sad.
Away from home. She'll be in the car with the support system that you spoke about, with my pastor's daughter, who volunteered to go along with us. So that whilst I was facilitating the session, she was taking care of it. And it was like that for some time. So I can really relate to that. Please, if you are watching us and you're hearing us clearly, kindly let me know. If you're not hearing us clearly too, kindly drop that in the comment section so we know, because I think the sound is not very well. Mabel, thank you for joining us, watching from Dansuma. We are grateful that you could join us. So Yvonne, in Ghana, what support system do we have that we can rely on? How did you do it?
So it starts by the kind of partner you have. And this is the blessing for those who have children with husbands. Because if you had it alone, or the man has refused responsibility, this one doesn't apply to you. So if you are single and you are listening, the kind of man you choose, ask yourself, what kind of father is he going to be? What kind of support is he going to be? There are contracts, jobs my husband has turned down just because the two of us can't be away. And sometimes the money in his own is more than mine. But he will say, no, Amma, I know how you've worked hard for this. Let me support you. Go for it. Okay. So that is the first one. The kind of partner you have is the support. Then the kind of jobs you choose. Sometimes the job is so far. The baby is too small. By the time you feel your breast is aching, meaning your baby is crying, your baby needs you. By the time you get home, he's cried his lungs out. And the guilt on you becomes even worse. Some will cry so much that when they see you, they are just tired. They look at you in the face like that and go back to sleep. And that guilt, nothing equates it. Yes. So choosing the job, the location is very, very important so that within minutes you are home to take care of the baby. The other one is family members. And let me start this with the immediate one. Your mom, your dad, your siblings, your cousins. Yes, they may be witches or wizards, but if you are a true Christian, you know this is a spiritual thing. So you deal with it on your knees. Before you give the baby, you pray over the baby. Dispatch angels at home to watch over the baby for you. Because even if you are there 24 hours, you can't watch over the baby spiritually. You hand the baby over to God. So as you are leaving, you do that. On the way to work, you'll be praying on the way. When you go to the washroom, you'll be praying. Okay. So I remember at a point, one of our security guards asked me whether I'm Osofumami. I said, me, Inko, I cannot be Osofumami. I'm praying over my children. Okay. So you do that because you can't be there. And so if you are away from them and you are also anxious that they will be bewitched or killed, you can't be good. You can't perform your work well. So you are not performing well at home. You are also not performing well at work. What is the essence? Then in-laws, I benefited from that a lot. And I thank God for the Akpablis. My mother-in-law, my sisters-in-law, and then my husband's nieces and nephews, they were coming and going. So you also use them. And I also had the privilege of my siblings having like when they are on vacation, they come to me. When you come, you become baby nurse. When I'm traveling, you go with me to take care of the baby as I do that. And then apart from that, your neighborhood. And I say this every time I go to churches to talk about this balancing act. People are in neighborhoods, they don't greet, they don't talk, especially those with cars. They come out in their car and go to work. They return in their car and come inside. All they know is Mami Tuntum Noti ha. The dark woman stays here. They don't know your name, they don't know anything. There was a day I had a presentation for my board. That morning, my nanny, it was a Monday. She said she's leaving. I said, oh, Akofa, so why didn't you tell me on Saturday, Sunday that you are leaving and this Monday morning? She said then she cannot stay again. That's also a conversation for another time. So quickly, those who have to go to school, I dress them up. Those who can't go to school, and there's a woman who stays opposite us. We call her Grandma. I knocked on the door. Grandma says, hey, Yvonne, what is it? I said, Grandma, I'm hot too. Akofa is gone. And these children have to go to school. I also have this board meeting, so I can't go with any of them. So don't worry. Just leave the stuff and I'll be fine. I will take care of them. Now, If I had not been on good terms with this woman, leaving these children there from time to time, sometimes Sunday afternoons, I'll let them go there to disturb her small. It would have been difficult to send them there. There's another nice neighbor of mine. She too, she has had her own fair share of my wahala. So you need to also be nice to your neighbors, okay? Be sweet with them. And then so that when you are hot, you can go and leave the babies there, not when you don't do anything with them. Then one morning they see you knocking on it. They'll even be apprehensive to take the baby.
Yeah.
And then the church, your church members, those who stay close to you, get to know where they stay. So that those who are on your way, you are nice with them. Sunday afternoon, you tell them tomorrow you have a meeting. The person caring for your baby cannot come. Do they mind taking care of your baby for you? You pass them on. Today you take care, tomorrow like that. By the time you are gone. We are gone. And then those ones, at the end of the year, you do small package for them, biscuit, kakra, cake, kakra, minerals, kakra. You send it to thank them for helping you with the baby. And you too, sometimes you have to do that for other people in your neighborhood and in your church. Okay. And then apart from that, the work itself that you have. There are people who work and their bosses have no idea about their life status. They don't know whether they are married, whether they have children. And so it becomes difficult when, for example, one morning, one baby is running temperature, you have to be in the hospital and you have to call them. Let your bosses know. Me, from the onset, you know I have 4 children, 2 teenagers and 2 these things. You will know. I will let you know one of them when he is sick. Even if you bring specialists from America, he wants the mother to be there.
Yeah.
I will let you know them. Once a while, I bring them to the office for you to see them as well. So that on days where you can't come because of the kids, these days, because of work from home, it's not so difficult. But back then, it becomes a big issue because it's more like a holiday for you because you have to go home. Yes. And so that also helps the relationship you have with the boss you work with. Let them understand your situation. There are times you work with people who you know that they have husbands there, but the husbands don't care for their children. So if they get to know when they tell you there's midterm on Friday, you know that it means the kids will be home. You either allow her to bring them to work or she stays home to care for them. But if your boss does not know this, it becomes another issue altogether to care for them. So that's the support system I have used. And so in my neighborhoods, I have so many friends. It's not just because I love making friends, but for my children.
Deliberate strategy.
Yes, there was one particular woman when we are doing our getaway. They will go there for the weekend. Oh, boy, you will go. And she used to enjoy them. Okay, they also love them. You get it.
Childcare strategies. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
You know, right? Yeah. Yes, you just be nice to them, and when you are hot, because they are the immediate ones around you,
True.
you just give the babies to them, and then when they are older, like I have teens now too, it's quite easy. You can hand something over to them to do for you, and they will handle the home and all that. And a lesson I learned from one of my old ladies is that every day that passes, the kids grow, your situation changes. So if you decide that because of what it is now, I'm going to do this now, time will not wait for you. Okay. It will not. It will not wait for you. So you have to learn to do these adjustments. Use your husband, use relatives, use in-laws, use the church. That is why we have the blessing of all this. And for Ghanaian women, when they complain about this balancing thing, I don't get them, because I've seen people in US do outrageous things in the name of career to their children. You come back from school, keys under the flower pot.
Yeah.
You open and enter and close. If mommy, you don't open door. The food is in the microwave. You eat. I mean, they are doing all that. You have all this support system around you, and you are not using it, and you are still complaining. It's work.
We are afraid of the witches and all
I've told
that.
you.
That's very insightful. This is apokronkron. You mean strategies that we can use. But Vera says the social support is no more common and easy. That's what Vera says. That is no more common
It's
and
because
easy.
of us. It's there. I'm telling you,
Mm.
Patricia, it is there. There were times I used to go to clubs and nightclubs with my husband. We give the baby to one of the waitresses and put the baby in the corner there, in that your basket thing. Because of you, I can't have fun again. And because of the light, by the time you get there, they are asleep. You see, so that it is there. If you look for it, it is there.
You'll find it.
It is there. You'll find it. Yes, you'll
You just
find
have
it.
to
Some may not be suitable.
deliberate. Yeah.
Some may not be good, but those are the sacrifices you also sometimes have to make.
Yeah.
There was even one time my mother-in-law had to caution me with a particular woman because of her religion, that I should be careful before I see she's indoctrinated the kids to believe in what she believes in. Okay. But those are some of the things you have to also work on at home with your kids. Okay. Like for us, Saturday mornings is when we have our devotion to learn the word of God, to pray. And then first Saturday, we all cook breakfast together and eat. Whether I am so you put in other things to make up for the losses, like Sandra is saying.
Yeah.
You make up for the losses. It helps to remove the guilt small, you know. So there are some weekends I'm not doing anything. You call me, you will not get me. My phone is off, everything is off. I'm devoting time to either my man or my kids. That's it. So you can cry blood. I don't care. It won't affect me. No.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. Josephine says, shout out to my former landlady, Dr. Saki. She did the Lord's work. Happy Mother's Day to her. I'm sure she provided the support that she needed so much. Thank you. Emmanuel Woyome says, I'm watching live from McCarthy. Thank you, Emmanuel. You are learning. You support your wife. Emmeline is back on. So, indeed, the support system is very important. But like Yvonne said, we also need to be cultivate the system, deliberately cultivate the system, so that tomorrow when you need the help, they will be there for you. Not when it's no break. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Emmeline, welcome back. So the challenges, because from all that you are saying, yes, it's possible, but it is not easy. It is not easy. It's very difficult, challenging. So what are some of the major challenges that you have faced as a mother raising kids and also building your career or your profession at the same time? Emmeline, you want to start with that?
See the way Sandra is laughing.
I said the way Sandra is shaking her head, upon in her eyes there. You see how she's still shaking her
Exactly. But
This one is PhD.
you know, Sandra has been one of my mentors when it comes to, motherhood. Though my mom has done a very good job teaching me how to be one since I was very young. I mean, she keeps telling me the reason why they gave me the name Mommy is because she's as a mother figure. So since I was a kid, I've been here. I have actually been trained to be one, even though I mean at that young age, you wonder why I should be think about being a mom. First of all, I'm a firstborn, first girl, and then I had two younger brothers, and so she always told me, at least think of your brothers, so in future you'll be doing the same thing. I just got tired of hearing that, but then it's amazing how my name became a reality. Even before I was a teenager, I mean, before I was an adult, I was already taking care of young people. Being a nurturer has been part of my life because my mom being a midwife as well, I saw her think of other people's kids, bringing people's kids home, and as a nurse, she had to retire or resign from her job to take care of us. And I was like, hey, and I was like, okay, this woman has had to leave her career and then take because she has to take care of children, and then growing up, and now I understand her. And you wonder why would you want to put children? Even my sister-in-law, I remember. I mean, she was an entrepreneur. She chose not to, follow the corporate ladder where you get employed. She decided to build on her mom's job and then take off her children. You understand? You understand? And even though at the time she was available and I was there supporting them as well, you know, the kids, and I've learned so much. I had to learn a lot, even without you having to tell me
Oh.
9 months and all of that. Then you get being in the theater world, but it's a calling. And so up till date, I remember even when the time she was ill, and then I was like, you know what, during the COVID time, I really needed to focus on my family and then let go of the 9 to 5 because
Hmm.
I was needed, you know, and corporate world was not easy. So I had to sacrifice it, you know, and then begin to follow my dream of being an entrepreneur so that I can have time for my family. And I've been doing that till date. And it's really a pleasure for me because I can determine my time, I can my flexibility.
Yeah.
When you have
Okay.
to leave and the kids are clinging towards you, even their dad. I remember, though you have to run away, you have to run to the back door. They don't see you running to go because they want to go. They want to go with you. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard when you see them crying. They want to go with you, and you know that when you're going to, they will distract you, or they won't have fun, or something like that, and then you have to go knowing that they're crying, and then oh my goodness, that for me, even travels, I had to put travel on hold because those times I used to travel, my mom was around with my sister-in-law, so it was easy for me to let them go. Now, where are you going to? How many days are you
Mhm.
leaving? No, 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 no,
Exactly.
no. And I'm, and it's so difficult having to let
Wow.
just even though my brother, their daddy will say, "Oh, don't worry, I can sort it out. They'll be fine." Of course, they'll be fine with their dad, but the fact that I wouldn't see them for me is a big issue.
Breaks your
Yeah.
heart. Mm.
So I've had to let go. Yeah, I've had to let go some travels and say, you know what, for now, I may have to just manage and if I cannot go with them, I may have to maybe sacrifice and say no to some offers that I want to, And for me, it's not a sacrifice; it's a pleasure.
It's a
Because I
pleasure.
remember a client of mine told me, he said, "Listen," a client of mine said, when they get to 18, it's over.
Mhm.
When they turn 18, it's over. So you have now till they're 18 years to be in their lives. Do you
Hmm.
understand? So be there, nurture them, be there, give them all they want, with the time they need, the training they deserve, give it to them. Because no other person in their so
Wow.
don't see that. I remember my pastor's wife used to say that, listen, if you have to resign from your job because of your kids, do it. Don't wait for your husband to beg you to do it. Because I mean, who else will do it for you? Even when
Hmm.
you have support at home, they have nannies and all that, they don't expect you to do all of that. You need to be there with the nannies to support. You understand? Because the nannies are also doing other things, they also get tired. And obviously
Hmm. Awesome.
since I'm
Emmeline comes with another perspective regarding whether to choose or not to. So she would rather choose to stay at home and take care of the kids, make the sacrifice and all that. And it ties in with what we are discussing. I mean, like you said, it depends on you, it depends on the support you have, and it depends on where you want to go and the kind of person you have in your life. So, but let me hear from Sandra. What are some of the challenges? Because I know that when we mention challenges, you are just nodding. And so, please share with us some of the challenges you encountered
Oh,
as your children were growing up, and how did you deal with those challenges?
plenty challenges. Plenty challenges. Now, I had to quit corporate world when my firstborn was born. And then I had to stay home to take care of her for a bit, and then my second one came, so I had to stay. But then that was the birthing of Rose Petals. That was the birthing of my business, because then I realized that if I love to plan events for people, do wedding, do birthdays, do conferences, whatever. I would help you. I was just doing it voluntary. I love doing it for church members and for people. And so I realized that I could turn that into a business and earn money from that. So when you say, "Oh, Auntie Sandra, I want to have a birthday party," I'll start asking you, "How many people? What's your budget?" That means I'm making money from that. So that was the birthing of that. Now, at a point, I had to now back my baby, my second girl, put her at my back, take them to event centers, do whatever I have to do, the decor and everything, and leave with my. And then my firstborn was now growing up, and so she would help me. I didn't have a lot of money to employ people to help with the setup, and so me and my children, my husband, sometimes we just go and we even have to sometimes do overnight so they can come in the morning and it's done for them already. So those were the 20 from the beginning until it became like a full-blown business that was earning a lot of money for me. Not a lot of money for me. Yes. Now, when it became like proper established, I've had to come out of board meetings. I've had to stop presentations and all that. Why? Because I get phone calls from my children's school. One of them has hurt themselves. One of them, and I remember a time. I think I was on the phone with Emma. I'm not even sure. I think I was on the phone with Emma when I got a phone call from my children's school that my daughter has fallen off a tree, or she's been pushed off a tree. Yes, and that was like the turning point of like what's going on. And I was just about to go do a presentation that afternoon when I had that phone call. So what happened? It means that I'm not going to do the presentation, and so I lost that contract. Yes, because it was like a bid. You're bidding for that kind of So you have to do a presentation and get the bidding, and so I lost that contract. I've lost a few contracts. Why? Because of my children. Now, for me, if you're a client and you come to me, the first thing I tell you is that I don't pick up my phone during consultations, but the only time you see me answer my phone call is if I see my children's name or their school or my husband. Then I'll ask. That one, I don't even need to take permission from you as a client. I would just answer my phone straight away. And so if you see me on my phone when I'm having a consultation with a client, it means that it's important. And sometimes I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to go. One of my children is not well in the school. I have to go. And it's costing you money because you've lost business. But I've had to, these are the sacrifices that you make. Okay. So I've had to now say, listen, I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule this meeting again? And if the client wants to, they will say yes. If they don't want to and they go to, they take their money and they go to maybe the next person that can help them. But if you've been consistent in whatever you're doing and your clients know how good you are, when you cancel a meeting on them, they know that what you're doing is for a good cause. You're going to come back. And so they will say, oh, yeah, just go and attend to them. And especially when it comes to my part of the world, a lot of people are family oriented. And so when you tell them my child is ill in school, they're like, okay, all right, go, just go. You know, in as much as maybe at that particular time it's very important. I've had to signpost a lady. She's on the Real Moms platform from an abusive marriage. She was being like literally chased. Just as I was about to help her, I got a phone call from my children's school. My daughter's running temperature. I had to come and take her to the hospital. Now, what do you do? This is a client who needs you. This is a child that needs you. What do you do? I had to signpost them. Like, I'm really sorry. I know you are also in need. My child is also in need. So what do I do? Let me signpost you to somebody that can help you. Go take my daughter to A&E, and then we'll take it from there. And I don't leave you as a client just like that. After I've sorted out my children, I come back to you like, do you still need my help? If it's yes, we continue. If no, all right, we'll take you from there. And so being a mother, whether you are in the corporate world or you are an entrepreneur or whatever it is, balancing that kind of an act is never easy. Like I said to you, I had to literally lay down my 11 years of corporate world there. I had to leave it. Because when I realized, like, my mom was like coming to help me look after my daughter when she was born, but she was at that time she wasn't on pension. She was working, and so she had to also go to work in London and come back and help me. There was no way I'm going to take my baby because where I was working, we didn't have that kind of like you have in Data Bank. We didn't have that kind of facility. I had to pay to get my daughter into childcare or to nanny or to whatever, and I didn't have that kind of flexibility to do it. And so my husband and I came to the conclusion that, all right, I know that one income household is difficult, but we've got to do it. And so we had to do it. I stayed. My second one was born the same. And then I realized that, listen, I can turn my passion into business. So I turned my passion into business. And then I got enrolled in again and I became a full qualified counselor where I know I can work for myself and get more clients. And so that's so every business that I've had actually has been born out of necessity. It wasn't just like, oh, I just got up and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Again, on the corporate ladder, it would have been difficult for me with 3 kids, all dependent on me, with a busy husband, with little help and support. It would have been difficult. So I thought that, okay, doing things for myself, as I said from the beginning, I work around my children. So I give clients appointments around my children. And sometimes, and listen, I know that I don't have to say thank God for COVID. However, I say thank God for COVID because then I took most of my businesses virtually.
Yeah.
I was doing virtual meetings, and even when the kids went back to school, even now, I still have virtual meetings in the evening with clients. And so that time I had come back from my office, my kids are home, they've eating, maybe homework done or they're doing homework or whatever. And so then I start again from 7 p.m. I can give clients appointment, call me at 7 p.m. Let's do a Zoom, let's do Teams, let's do Google Meet, whatever. So I still work around my children. Before I go to bed, I'm tired. I have real moms pulling me here and there. I have real
we pull you now.
Everybody's pulling me. By the time I go to bed, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, for the good of country and for the good of the country. Wow. In fact, it is no doubt very challenging. That is why Rabna is saying, God bless all working mothers, indeed, and give them the strength, because it's not easy. Balancing the two is not easy at all. Clement says he's watching from home. Thank you, Clement, for watching. Let's look at this, Yvonne. What are some of the qualities that you think working mothers should have in order to have that balancing that we are talking about? That is, if they choose to stay within the corporate world, what are some of the qualities they need? What qualities? What is it for you?
Yeah. These are qualities we have already. God has blessed us women with it. One of it is multitasking. And so you multitask. And this is where I tell women that using gadgets does not mean you are lazy.
Yeah.
The fact that you grind your granite on the stone and sieve and grind and do granite soup doesn't mean you are the virtuous wife.
Exactly.
No. So, like for granite, I have some lady from the north. I buy in the paint buckets, the blue ones, 2. Then it's there. So when you want to do granite soup, you are not going to grind anything. You get the blender, the gadget. Sometimes I've even devised a way to do the pepper such that you think I ground it in Apotoyowa. No, it was the blender.
You pulse it. You use the pulse to pulse it.
You remove all the seeds and blend that one smooth, and then you do the pulsing for the pulp. When you mix, you are game. It's like you've done it in Apotoyowa. And you go. So that in the multitasking, in the morning, once the dress is in the washing machine, the dresses are in the washing machine, the rice is in the rice cooker, the chicken is in the that's the new one that has come. That thing is a blessing.
The air fryer, it's a lifesaver.
You just add pepper around the tilapia, you are gone. Crack. So you multitask, you do so many things at the same time. And in fact, that is how come we are able to combine this motherhood to work, because we are able to multitask. The apart from the multitasking is the gadgets buying. Instead of buying the Brazilian wig, it's important, but please buy the gadgets, buy them. It makes work very easy for you. And then apart from the gadgets too, women have been blessed with intuition. We have that gift already. So sometimes you are at work, the phone call hasn't come, but your spirit tells you something is
wrong. Yeah.
You can stop everything and go home. Or if it is the child's school, go there. I've had an episode like that when I came home. My house help was having like a house party with the boyfriend. Yes, or chili pa. And you can see this is something they do all the time. Okay, but that day I listened to my spirit self and I
Yeah.
came home and found it. And even that video, the woman who caught the nanny beating the child, she also said she felt it and decided to come home. So that intuition that God has given us, use it both at work and in the home. At work, you have a hunch that this report you are sending, it will not work. Don't send it anyway. Pray over it, rework it, and then you send. Okay. Even in choosing a nanny, in choosing somebody to support you, that intuitive gift will let you know whether this person is good or not, and then you take up on that. And then also the other attitude or skill that we need to have as women to be able to do this balancing is self-improvement. Whether you want to be better at work or at home, improve yourself. Let me tell you something. It reaches a time your food is not tasty anymore to the man and the kids. Not because you don't know how to cook. The same stew, yeah, Jane, tomatoes,
Familiarity.
right? The same. Once they hear, what are you cooking? Rice and stew. Mommy, I will not eat.
I don't want
It's
it.
not because they are not hungry. I don't want. Then they would rather do sandwich and eat. Okay. As for the husband, he has no
Yvonne,
choice. So he
Yvonne,
needs to try.
Hold on. I don't want to disrupt you. But this thing, Emma is a witness to me. Yesterday, I was on the phone. My
I
youngest
saw her
daughter,
laugh.
she said, "No, mommy, what are you cooking?" I told her. She says, "No, I'm not eating it. I want pizza."
Uh-huh.
I said, "I'm not ordering pizza." She says, "If you don't order pizza, we won't eat." Do you know
I
what,
won't eat
Emma? In the
anything.
end, we
Oh,
had
so
to
it's
end up
not only in
buying
my
turkey
home.
because they're going to Turkish to buy because they're not eating the food. I ended up eating the food by myself.
Thank you. So it's not that the food is not nice.
They've had it too
They
many
are bored.
times.
Yeah.
Too many times. So I've been forced to learn recipes. I know some Nigerian recipes, eba and bitter leaf stew, egusi soup, that they are green soup. The one that they use all sort of greens and then put the boiled eggs inside and they fry the oil till it's white and pour on it. I've learned it. I've learned how to do acheke and then we eat it. You learn other recipes so that it will change the food for them small. Some of the women for the airways they have a very wide variety of meals, but for Akans it's one way. So if you are an Akan, then you really need to up your game here. And this creativity too should be in the office where you don't do your work the same way all the time. Change it a bit, and that is where the self-improvement comes in. You have a free webinar like this, you tune in, you pick one thing or two. For example, today I've realized that my children saying I will not eat it and preferring to even go to sleep on an empty stomach because is that your rice and stew? I've seen it's normal. I've also realized that I don't have to be guilty putting them in the back seat and sending them to places they don't want to go because mommy is going to talk. Okay, so you improve yourself with these programs, the ones in church, the ones in the offices, and all that. And then one challenge too that we face as women when we are combining this work and motherhood is that sometimes we lose out on ourselves. So the hair is in the left, the nails is on the right, the stomach is in the center, and nothing is working. And for us, the wives, when that happens and your husband doesn't have the fear of God,
Of
the
God.
women in her office are upping their game. He didn't want to do it too. But these women, they know. They've Googled their wife and they know how she is. And they will use your weakness as a strength to get him. So as you go about this motherhood and this work, don't forget yourself. There was an instance where a mother told me the child says, when you are coming for PTA, let me see what you wear first.
Oh,
Why? Because she's gone once and Koye, probably it was a bubu and some old wig be and she carried it there. The girl felt embarrassed and so tells the mother, next time when you are coming for PTA, let me see what you wear. For the wives to sometimes you see your husband doesn't go to programs with you again because when you wear that fitting dress, people start congratulating him on his new baby on the way. So and in the office too, when you are like that, they think you are floppy. You are sloppy. You can't take it seriously, professionally as well. So you need to also up your game there. What all this I'm talking about means that you, the woman who is doing this work and mothering thing, you need 25 hours, but God has given all of us 4. So you have to sacrifice sleep. Sometimes you don't sleep enough. You have to sacrifice, and this multitasking, as you are in the salon and they are doing your nail, your feet, pedicure, somebody is handling your hands, somebody is handling your hair. So 2
Yeah.
hours, you've done 3 things. At the same time, you are on your phone booking appointments. So when the left hand is with the person, the right hand is booking appointments. Emmeline is laughing. She does that a lot. Then when they take the right hand, then you switch to this one. Then you are doing it. Sometimes you'll be forced to get somebody to drive you. So that as you are going, you are finishing a presentation after a meeting that you are going to attend. Okay. And all these things are things that God has given us women already. It is there. We have it already. That's why when we both come back, you and your husband, you all went to work, you are all tired. You can stand on your feet and cook again because of that strength God has given you. You can push a baby out. A man cannot bear that pain for a second. You, if I'm lying, let them see blood. You see how they will behave. They are not strong. Physically, too, they are not strong. Okay. They have the mental fortitude, but they are not physically strong. We carry the thing with baby on our back, pregnancy in front, and we can still do it. Use that physical strength God has given you to combine the motherhood and the work, so that you don't go to work in the morning and start telling your boss you are tired, you are tired. Then they won't give you the promotion because this small one, Pona, you are tired. What if they increase your portfolio? You will not be able to do it. That strength, inner strength, God has given us. That is how we are able to push the babies out. That is why after CS, 3 days, a woman is in the kitchen cooking. You go and do a small hernia operation for a man. 3 months, he's still there. When a woman is sick, when you are sick as a mother, you even lie down. You don't. You are going and doing things and still working. Let them have headache. They will wrap themselves in there. There's coffee here, there's ginger tea here, and they'll be calling you, can you do pepper soup? Can you do? When you are sick, you do your own pepper soup. That is strength. So you use it in the office, use it at home. The other dimension of this too is that you should understand that you are your own tool. That's the only tool you have to work. You don't have hammer, you don't have pickers. So if you break down, your home is in trouble, your office is in trouble. So find time to re-energize yourself.
Self-care.
Thank you. 1 day in a month, just go and sit somewhere, order cocktail, order it and drink. Sometimes they will think your husband is giving you wahala. Let them think whatever they will think. Thank you, Sandra. Let them play your favorite song for you. Something from Amachi Dede or Kojoenchi. Not too much volume. And be sipping. Let your soul rest. Sometimes go to a spa. Let somebody to massage you small. You come home. It helps. If you have a village, you are not afraid they will kill you. Go there. Eat village food. They will serve you. Don't go with Milo and needle. No, go empty-handed. Eat there. Come back. You are refreshed. And then also find time to exercise because your body is your tool. When you fall down, your home is in trouble, your work is in trouble. Exercise. It doesn't mean go to the gym plate. Buy skipping rope. Every day, 10 minutes. Every day, 10 minutes. As your heart is palpitating and you are sweating, it feels good. If you can get some fast-paced music and dance asaboni with it, you've shaken the body. The children will even join you. Mommy, what are you doing? Then you see you are just shaking. You release some of the stress and you let go. Also, another skill is conflict management. Learn to know which battles you should pick, both at home and in the office. Sometimes we pick battles that are not necessary.
Doesn't concern us.
Thank you. Becomes a huge weight on you. Then when you are coming to the office, you see a man, you are hiding. It's emotional torture for your soul. That is not important. So learn to pick your battles. And at home, because at the end of the day, that is where you will come. Try to have a peaceful home, no matter what. Have a peaceful home. Let the man know that you are the wife, even if you are the CEO of your company. When I reach my house at the door, I drop everything.
Absolutely.
Just do it. for them. It doesn't last long. It doesn't. Do it for them. In the night, in the bedroom too, the things you have to do it too.
Great.
Also find time for them.
Very necessary.
Yeah. Check their homework for them. Ask them about school. Even if they are so sleepy, lift the head, put it on your hand, and just talk to them small. Okay. Because if you don't create a harmonious home, I'm telling you, you can't succeed out there. If you think I'm lying, do a research on women succeeding out there. You'll see that most of them have a peaceful home that they come to. Without that, you'll be in trouble, serious trouble. And that trouble will not just affect your home, it will affect that career that you think you are building. So the conflict management skills is also very important. It's not every battle you fight, it's not every battle you even join. When you see them doing it, you pass quietly and you go your way. You are quiet, and then it's a whole lot. But for want of time, let me stop here.
This is awesome. Very, very, very insightful. As Sandra is clapping, in fact, we should all clap for that. Rose Dawson says, "I'm watching from home. God bless women. Amen. Amen. Amen." Love notice says, "Interesting discussion, learning a lot. Thank you. Thank you, Josephine." Apple says, "Thank you. Multitasking with cooking tools helps." Yes, so let's invest in that. Let's invest in that. Let's invest in that. Thank you so much for sharing this. Let me take this opportunity to let you know that if you have just joined us, this is HR Digest, brought to you by Sedat Consult with support from Quick Fix Creatives. And let me also take the opportunity to introduce our upcoming training on HR analytics. For those who are HR professionals, you can't go wrong with that in this age and time. You need analytics to build your career so that the fulfillment that you desire, you can get it. It's happening from the 24th to the 26th at the Crystal Palm Hotel. The registration link has been put in the comment section. Kindly click on it for more information and also for registration. Josephine says, "Very well said." Michael says, "Powerful program." Wow. Thank you, Michael. Yes, Michael is my husband. I depend on him so much for to be able to do the things I'm doing. So thank God for supportive husbands who help us to do the balancing very, very well. Let me come to you, Emma. I think you've rested your voice for a while. Let's look at let's look at some of the stereotypes, that women who are working go through. Some of the things they go through, the way people talk to them, the look down, all those things. How do you think we can deal with such things so that the guilt that sometimes we struggle with, we can be able to deal with it? People have tagged working mothers as lazy, as they don't care about the children and stuff like that.
It's so sad, and I think that level of ignorance is annoying. You need to have a stubborn heart like Sandra, and you want to really not give anybody a rat's tail. How do you know what it feels like to be a mother if you're not one in the first place? Who gives us the right to tell a mom how she needs to live her life? I mean, all she needs is a word of encouragement, a word of support. If you have nothing encouraging to say, shut up. Stop trying to make people feel less than who they are. And to mothers who are being told things, and listen, first of all, you need to have a sense of confidence for yourself and trust that you are doing the best that you can. It is good to listen to a multitude of counsel. There is safety, but don't anybody make you feel less than who you are. All right, you are doing the best. There is no perfect manual for a mother in the world. You learn till you drop. You learn till you drop. So first of all, get used to the world being used to saying crap about you. Everybody always have an opinion about everyone because we all have noses, right? But at the end of the day, you know exactly that you are a great mom. Surround yourself with people, get people with energy like Sandra and Yvonne in your life. If not, you will die. Get yourself.
And Evelyn.
Oh,
Wow. Yes. So you know you are doing your best, and whatever you are doing for the sake of your kids, for the sake of your home, for the sake of the family. And so no matter what people say, be confident in yourself that you know where you're going. People may not understand you, people may not get it, but you do. So don't let their words get into you so that you go off track. And then the purpose for which you are doing the things you are doing, that you are not able to achieve it. So thank you, Emma, for sharing that. Mabel said thumbs up. Yvonne for that insightful one. Jerome says mothers are the HRs in the home. That's a good one. They make sure everything is moving to achieve the family targets, as in good children are bringing among others. That is so, so true. Thank you, Jerome, for sharing that. Sandra, some people are really, some others are struggling. They're struggling to get that balance. They are struggling to take away the guilt. They are at the crossroads. They don't know what to do. Now they want to the decision. They don't want to be. They want to build their careers, but there's pressure on them to take care of their children, stay at home, but they want to work. They want to build their careers, and they are struggling to get that balance. Please, what can you tell them? I mean, it's worked for you. So help us help them how they can get that balance so that they can achieve what they want to achieve in life.
Right.
Have both successful homes and careers.
Okay. So, like I said from the beginning, balance simply means that doing what is right at the right time. So, you desperately want to build your career, you want to take care of your children at the same time. Do you have the support that you need to help you with childcare? Is the job you want to do or the career you want to go into, is it flexible enough for you to do it? The thing is, if you want to put all your eggs in one basket, you're going to break all of them. You will succeed at none. But if you're able to divide it properly, you will succeed in doing both. So if I think Yvonne even shared it from the beginning, that make sure that the company you're going to work to is not too far from your home, just so in case of emergency you can always run back. Now, so what do you want to do is the first question you need to ask yourself. If maybe you were in the corporate world and you became pregnant and so you came home and your maternity leave is over and you're going back to work, how are you going to take care of the baby at home? Think about it. Are you going to get support from family, or are you going to find somebody to hire to take care of your kids whilst you're out working? Is it convenient enough for you? If you stop work and you're depending on, let's say if you have a husband and you're dependent on him, is the income going to be enough for you, your baby, and the bills that you have, your household bills? Is it going to be enough? If it is, then you sit down with this man and tell him, maybe I want to nurse my baby for a year or two and go back. If that is what is viable for you, you do it. But you need to now, it boils down to being critical in your thinking. Do I want to work around my children? Will the career that I want to go back into, is it going to be viable, being a career woman and being a mom at the same time? Is the guilt that I'm going to go into leaving my children at home, will it give me that peace of mind when I go to work? Because trust me, if you don't have that peace of mind coming to work, you are of no use to your company.
Exactly.
Because you're going to make so many mistakes. And I don't think anybody wants to employ somebody that hasn't got their 100% fulfillment when they come to work. If you're my staff and you come to work and you're always making mistakes with clients' orders and fixing my diary for me and doing stuff, I'm going to fire you because you're of no use to me. And so think about it, the pros and the cons. Does the pros of you staying at home outweigh your cons? Does your pros going to work outweigh your cons? So think about all these things, and then when you're able to find it, then now you know that, okay, balancing it is going to work for me. Do I need to start a business on my own? Do I need to become an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, a self-employed? Or do I need to go back into the corporate world? How am I going to juggle it? And I call something juggling. If you've seen the jugglers at the circus, they have so many balls, yet they are able to juggle all of it. When one ball falls, all the other balls will fall. Why? Because they don't find the balance anymore. So as a mother, you are always juggling. You want to become a career woman, you want to become a full-time mom, you want to come. If you're juggling these things and you don't juggle them properly and one falls off, all the other balls will fall. So you become You won't become of any use to your family when you're ill because you're stressed out at work. You won't become of any good use to your employers because you're stressed out from home. You won't become any good use to your children because you're grumpy. You burn out, you get ill. So these are the kind of things you need to now think about. I want to go back to work. However, I've got little ones at home. Will I be able to put them into nursery? Will I be able to put them into creche, into daycare? Or do I need to employ somebody to look after them? Will the income that I'm getting from this company or this career or this job I'm going to do, will it help me pay for the childcare? So think about it. If you're going to work 9 to 5 and you're getting, 1,000 Ghana, and your childcare is 950, is it worth it going to work at all? In as much as when you go out of the house, you might find fulfillment, but you're running at a loss because you're not bringing anything back home. You're rather paying somebody. So why don't you then go into, maybe take that money or get a loan or something and start a viable business that you can go into and work around your children? I think Emma said from the beginning that when you stay back at home and look after your children, you haven't really lost. Yes, you haven't, but at some point you lose, because if the income is not right, you're losing. Listen, when money is not at home, trust me, when people
Wahala.
when people say money can't buy happiness, I just look at them. I said, okay, money can't buy me happiness, but it makes me happy. Because when you have money, you are happy. When you want to go do your hair, you have money to pay for it. You want to do your nails, you have money to pay. You want to go and sit somewhere and have a cocktail, like Yvonne said, you have money to pay for it. You want to go to the spa, and I love going to the spa. You have money for it. I love taking mini breaks. Mini break is my thing. I love going away on weekends. Just go for a quiet time, leave everything behind, and just go and chill. If you don't have the money to do all these things, I'm sorry, but at a point you become grumpy because you don't have the money to do it. And so money is good. So if you want to go back to work, think about all these pros and cons. Do you have a hobby you can turn into business? I was sharing with Emma, I think we've done that a few weeks ago, and then yesterday I went back into it again, and I said to her that candle making is good. There's money in that. And I've introduced a few mothers in the UK into it, and now they are doing their own candles. And I think I even shared Emma's one she did on the platform. It was so beautiful. You know, and she was like, all thanks to you, it's good. I'm like, yes. So, and then but Emma said, oh, candles doesn't really fetch that much in Ghana, and so it might not be that. I'm thinking, okay, but if you know how to make it, every little helps, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody's teaching you all these basic things for free, and you want to now turn these things into business, it becomes profitable to you. So think about the side hustle that you want to go into. Instead of maybe you want to go back into the career world. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. But think about how you're going to juggle your home, how you're going to balance it. Being a wife, being a mother, being a career woman, you're juggling all that. But if one ball falls off, all the other balls will fall. So once you're juggling, make sure that you're juggling all three. You're doing it, and you're doing it effectively. Because you can't do it anyhow. It won't work for you. But once you go into it, make sure that you're going into it, and you're going into it wholeheartedly. But weigh the pros, weigh the cons. And it's very difficult when you're a single parent and you want to now become a full-time mom and a full-time career woman. There's nothing as painful as trying to hold both hot balls in your hand, and you don't know which one to drop. And they're all burning you. You don't know which one to drop because you don't have the support that you need. But if you want to go into full-time career and you are a mother and a single parent, what you need to know is that you need to get a good support system around you, and you can do it. Do it and do it effectively. When you are not working, make time as a single parent for your children, for the time you are absent from their lives. Make sure that you fill that void. And I do that a lot. When I sit in the car with my kids, they tell me about all the drama that's gone through. Everything that goes on. I might not know everything, but the important details I know. And I make sure that once a while I go out with my girls, and it's just mother and daughter's time out. We just go and have fun. So if you're a single parent and you're going through such a phase, make sure that when you come back home, you feel that void that your absence created in them. So you're not just devoted to your career and then leaving your job as a mother, and you're not just devoted as a mother and leaving your job as a career woman. You're managing both, you're balancing them, and you're balancing them effectively, doing what is right at the right time. I'm needed at work 9 to 5, I'm present. After 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., I'm a mother at home. If you need to bring work home as a single parent, bring work home. But when your children sleep, go back and do your work. So when you go back to work in the morning, that which you were not able to finish, you have it. And I think that even now, most companies allow their employees to work from home, because virtually you're doing everything, you know. And so if, let's say, you go to the office twice in a week, and then the 3 times you're at home, your children also have you there. In as much as you are present, even though you're virtual, you're still at home. And so your kids know that, yeah, mommy is around. Now, most of these telecommunications people, they work from home. Even insurance brokers are working from home. When you call them, they're working from, you can even hear their children on the background screaming, you know. And so a lot of people are working from home these days. So if you want to become a full-time career woman and a full-time mom, make sure that your company also gives you all these little leeways that you can work your way around, and you can do both and do them effectively. It can be done. It's difficult, but it's doable.
It's doable. People have done it. Sandra has done it. Yvonne has done it. Emmeline, they're all doing it. Yvonne, let me ask you, because Sandra mentioned something I think is very important. I mean, being an HR professional, practicing one, how can organizations help mothers to have that balance, to be successful both at work and at the home, so that they know that they are doing their best, full-time work, full-time mothers? Companies, organizations, briefly, how can organizations support our mothers?
So this is one of the blessings COVID brought us. During the time we were home, most companies realized the damage they were causing their people and the mental health issues it was also bringing. So you have companies like Betiential Chambers, Data Bank, MTN having crashes on site, MSC Shipping too. They have crash in the company, in their office, for children up to a certain age. So if you give birth to the baby, you bring the baby there. For Betiential, each baby has a nanny. So it's not like one nanny for all. Yes. And what does this say? If I am there till 10, what will make me rush home is the baby. The baby is with me here. So why won't I stay to finish my task for the day? So that when I go home, it is just the husband that I'm going to care for. And this is usually when you have just 1 or 2 babies. Okay. So that thing is there. And then there should be policies that go beyond what the Labor Act asks for. Maternity leave, they say 12 weeks. Now, most of us, our mothers are still working. So after the 3 months, there's nobody to care for the baby. This baby too, another government policy says I should do exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months.
6 months.
So I have to express the breast before I go. The person handling the expressed milk, we know how milk can easily be contaminated. If the person doesn't handle it well, I come back to a child with diarrhea, which means I need days again to take care of that child. So we have a lot of policies in Ghana that are linked from each other in this motherhood journey we are talking about. If you say I should breastfeed exclusively for 6 months, at least give me 12 weeks maternity and then another 12 weeks half day. So you have some private companies who have that. Okay, they have the extension. Guinness like this, the maternity is 1 year. And then some also have the paternity leave so that the man can also take those days in wherever he's working to care for them, for the baby. So that is also there. And then there should be this, I don't know the name for it, but apart from the annual leave, when a mother's child is sick, we had that at Data Bank. So if my child is sick, because of that, in the hospital, it was part of my compassionate leave. So compassionate is not just for funerals, it's for some of these things. Just that when we see that you too, every time your child is sick, you find out what exactly is wrong with you. so that you don't abuse that privilege as well. And then I worked somewhere to send Ghana. It's an NGO where we had a gender policy. And the policy states that when I resume work, I'll do half day for another 3 months. But I'll come to work with the baby till the baby is 1 year. So I had this small cot in my small corner in my office, the movable ones. The baby is there. The policy says if I have a meeting in the office, I should hand the baby over to any staff. And the policy also says if I hand my baby over to Emily and I come back from the meeting and I see Emily did not handle my baby well, she will be queried. And guess who I was leaving my baby with? The CEO.
That's the one.
I'll give my baby to if it's not part of the meeting. Yes. And I remember once we had the World Bank people coming there for a meeting, and they were like, we can hear baby crying, we can hear baby crying. That meeting, my boss was in. He just said somebody will be queried after this meeting, and then explained our gender policy to them. So what it means is that the person caring for the baby was not doing a good work. Now we had trained all staff on how to handle babies and the minor things you can do to keep a baby calm. It was part of the gender policy. Then when you get pregnant and you are a field staff, immediately you inform us. We recruit an assistant for you for 2 years. So for the 9 months and then a year after you've given birth. And usually we use the national service people. So the person will support you throughout. If you are an office person, when the pregnancy is 7 months, such a person comes on board to help you. And then another beautiful part of the policy is that let's say we are going to Tamale for a training. I can go with me, my baby, my nanny, and my husband. So those days we used to have a lot of honeymoon, my husband and myself. And they will give you and your husband the room, and the nanny and the baby a room. They will be fed throughout. Yes. Now go back to somebody who say this is too expensive. Go back to St. Ghana. Apart from myself, I think all others are still working there. Because you feel you have to give back to the company. Where are you going to? You've had all your children there, they are grown. Where are you going to? Okay. And then apart from this gender policy with all these beautiful things, some companies also have the family day where you come with your spouse and children. It gives the company a sense of your family
belonging.
How do I say that? Characteristics. Thank you. So that they know that, okay, Yvonne has 3 children. 2 are grown, 1 is not. And so you just get to understand her better. So those family days is not just for fun. It also helps the family to also go out and then have fun. And then the office also get to know your family situation. These are some of the things. And then for the managers, this one is not HR. They should be human beings. You have these autocratic, authoritarian managers. You call them. I've just been called that my daughter is ill. And so I'm going to take her. Are you a doctor? Where is their father? And so the report, who will finish it? The presentation, you know you are the one responsible. Hey, no. You have to be the team leader. So the first thing you ask, how's the girl doing? All right, you go and take care of the girl. In the meantime, once you get there and you are settled, send me the report. I'll take it up from there. Okay. When you do that, the person feels good. And so managers who don't have this human side for the mothers lie a lot. They make us lie to them a lot. I'm having running Yabua is our child. But when we say the child, you will not agree, you will not understand. So we have to say it is us. We are having an upset tummy. Okay. And so you say, go to the hospital. Now I ask him, I want to wait more and see how it goes. As she's talking to you, she's by the bed of the child, holding the child's hand and making sure the child is fine. And sometimes it's not just illness. Where I work now, when your child has a serious presentation in school, maybe there's a play, your child is performing, you can use it to ask for permission to be there for your child. Your child is playing football match. You'll be given. Okay. Just that it should be just 1 activity. So you can't come for football, come for play, come for drama. No, just one. Because if we are all asking, then one day the office will just be empty. And it helps. Okay,
Yeah.
for me to know that, you know, that feeling that when you are performing and you see your mother's head, you know, the child also sees you there and is happy. So some of these policies can be put in place in the companies to allow the women to undertake our reproductive responsibilities. It's something God has given us. We can't change. Even with the lesbianism and homosexual, they will still want babies. They will still have it, whether through other women or through whatever. They will have it. So the problem won't vanish. It will be there. So we need to put in these policies to help. And the worst one is when the child is not yours, it's an adopted one. Some companies' policies don't allow it. And so I can't have children. So, oh, yes. So if I can't have children of my own, can't I adopt? It's not there. And if it's an adopted child and you come and say he's sick, some reckless manager will say, go and look for the child's mother to go and take care of the child. Yes. And sometimes it's very painful. There was an instance where staff like that heard the manager saying, it's not the child, though, but he spends all his time on the child. It is the child. It's adopted. So it's his child. Yes. And so all these policies we put in place shouldn't be just for biological children, because it has its own trauma that sometimes it brings to me, especially for the ones that genuinely it's not because of an abortion or anything, but God has decided I won't give you one. And then they said, okay, since you won't give me one, I'll go for one myself. They've gone to adopt and it's not being accepted. It can be very, very painful and it can be hurting. So the policies should also look at these other people. And these days, there are even women, they don't want to marry. I have one like that. She has 2 kids. She doesn't want to marry. So she will take you out, get you drunk, you get her pregnant, and that is it. The first one was grown and she wanted another one.
That is a wild mom.
I know, right?
And have the children. Now the second gentleman met herself and the child at a program. Said me I said, okay. So such a woman, she's a single woman with the single mom with these 2 children. The policy should favor her. We should take morality out. How she got them is none of your business. Whether she used a sugar daddy or it's none of your business. See her as a mother and let the policy favor her as a mother. And I tell you, the productivity you will get, you'll be amazed.
You'll be amazed. Also, wow.
Patricia, I was even going to say that, learning from what Devon is saying, once your baby is 3 months, 6 months, you have no help. Carry your baby to the office. If your company doesn't have a policy, by force, they can't sack you too. They will be moved to determine or to put a policy. I mean, it makes no sense. For you. They come and carry the baby. They won't sack you. Yeah. And mothers should learn this because we are tired of fighting for an extension of maternity leave.
Service person. Even that one, you should get a colleague at the back office.
My sister, I said, carry the baby there. The HR will decide what to do. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you can't let me put my child in danger and come to work and be ineffective. It can't work.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
No.
Just like Yvonne said, let's be human beings. And the thing is, imagine you as a baby. When you were a baby, if your mother had not given you the kind of care, where would you have been? Sometimes you grow up and we are men and we think that women, what you do, like that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Today we've gone way beyond our time, but somebody also warned me that look, today is Mother's Day, so don't cut short the program. I say yes, madam. So that is why I'm quiet and right, because we need the help, and this one is once a year. Let's just relax and take all the lessons that we can get. Let me ask this. Any of you can answer that. How do we set boundaries and manage our time so well that we can build both successful careers and successful homes? Because sometimes we take everything. We can't say no. We don't have boundaries. and it affects the way we build our careers and our homes, because time in this is a factor. Like Yvonne said, we all have 24. So how are we going to manage the time if there's so many things demanding of our time outside of our work and our family, and we are not able to say no? So help us. How do we set the boundaries and prioritize our time so that we can have both successful careers and homes?
Learning to say no is a skill. Everybody, whether you are a mother or not, you need to acquire. Learning to
Yeah.
say no is a skill. And sometimes people don't know how to say no, especially with mothers. They don't know how to say no. Everything is yes. Oh, come to my baby's naming. Yes. Come to this party. Yes. Come to this event. Yes. Come to this job thing. Yes. Everything is yes, 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 yes. If you keep saying yes to everything, at the end of the day, you achieve nothing, you burn out, and you become miserable. And so setting boundaries when it comes to saying no is prioritizing. Is this thing that I'm giving my time to, is it important? Is it necessary? Maybe your boss has asked you to come into work on a Saturday. Is it necessary for me to be there on that particular Saturday? What I'm going to do, can it not be done by somebody else? Or can I take it home and work on it and bring it back? Or can I do it during the week? Or can it be time shared? Right, I need time with my children as well. What time do I need to have with them? What do I need to do? So it's important that you prioritize. And the boundaries you're setting is all about prioritizing what you think is important. In meaning that if, let's say me, I have children, I have 3 daughters, and for all of them, they're into sports. So imagine me going to netball, going to rugby, going to hockey. Now there's even athletics has come to join. And so imagine doing all these things, being a working parent, being some my husband says to Emma, sometimes your sister is a single parent, and and there are times of the months where I'm a single parent. And so I have to now learn how to manage and manage it well. Now, time management is even a course that we teach how to manage your time. And it's you prioritizing doing what you think is right at the right time. So if, let's say, even if going to work Monday to Friday, your kids are in school, over the weekend, can you cook whole meal, put it in the freezer, divide them, what you think you need? So you have all these things, you have your meal preps done, you have your meat seasoned, your chicken seasoned, your fish done, cleaned in the freezer. If you need to take them out in the morning, put them out. When you come back in the evening, it's easier for you to do. That is time that you're not wasting going back into the kitchen to start everything from the beginning. If you're going to make a pot of stew, do a big one, divide them, put some in the freezer, put some in the fridge. When I come back home in the evening, are we going to eat rice? We're going to eat yam? We're going to eat pasta? What are we doing with this thing? Is it jollof? You know what you're doing. So it's easier for you on that side. When you go to work, the job or the assignment given to you for the day, how do I prioritize my time to do that which is important? Because maybe you know what you have to do this week. Let's say on Friday, you need to do a presentation. So it means that you have Monday to Thursday to plan that presentation. So you do that which is necessary at that particular time. And then you build up gradually to what you have to do. In my part of the world where people do shift work, so let's say maybe you're a nurse or a carer, or you work in the supermarket, or you do shift work. So it means that if you're given maybe a 12-hour shift and there's an 8-hour one going as part-time, or how do you call it, extra time, or whatever it is, some parents will go do the full 12 hours and then go do overtime again. So it means you've done every hour. I shared it yesterday when I had a Zoom meeting yesterday, and I shared it with the ladies. I said, there's some of you, every shift that is going to die, you want to resurrect. So it means that one person is not coming in. Oh, present, I'll do it. Oh, yes, I'll do it. So every shift you will do, it means that you're not prioritizing the time you also have with your kids because you think you need to work. I'm not saying don't work and make money, but you can do overtime, but do it and do it well. Do it with wisdom. Now, for me, and every Friday, I've started another project that I do. So you can see that on Fridays, I'm not very active even on the platform because I need to now do something else again. But do you know what I do? When I finish from my office and I go pick my kids from school, I take them to this other project that I'm doing. I'm giving time. I'm prioritizing. They are there with me. Okay, but I also have to be present. Now, when we come home on a Friday evening, we have all the time we need. On the weekends, if I don't have any engagements to go to or any events to go to or whatever, I'm with them. I'm prioritizing. So on Saturdays, we don't wake up early. and we make sure that on Saturdays we have a feel good time. If I'm in the kitchen, and my oldest, she loves music, she loves Afro beats, yet she doesn't even understand some of the languages. But we will bang this Afro music and we will dance and we'll make all the noise. I'm making time for them. You call me on the phone and you don't get me, doesn't mean I'm neglecting you. No, I'm making time for something else. When that is fulfilled, I will come back and my husband will say, that demon that is chasing you will not kill you tonight. I will leave you to we need to prioritize. If you don't prioritize, you're always like, have you seen a guinea pig and a hamster on a wheel before? It just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. It's got no destination because it's not prioritizing anything. But when you're prioritizing your time and you know when to say no, I said saying no is a skill, and that is the boundaries you're building. Okay, Yvonne, I want to come to your house today. And if Yvonne is busy, she shouldn't tell me, oh, okay, I'll be waiting for you. No, tell me, Sunday, if you want to come, I would have loved you to come. But unfortunately,
this matter. So
you have to
hey, I've become an enemy to many people now.
It doesn't matter. You save yourself, you save your sanity.
I tell you.
When you're everything to everybody, you lose who you are. You can't be everything to everybody all the time. No. Sometimes you need to take time for yourself. Block up me up. If I show you my diary, there are days I block them off for myself. I'm not going to go into work. And I keep saying that if you have a company that when you're absent and they can't function, it means you don't have a good company. You're not effective. So
exactly.
If you're absent, your business or your company should still run effectively. I should be able to stay at home for 2-3 days and my company shouldn't collapse. Why? Because you've trained effective people who are able to manage it in your absence. And so even that's a different story for another day anyway.
Another day.
Another day. Yes, but you need to prioritize. Prioritize yourself, prioritize your business, your company, your career, and your children. Learn to say no. No is a complete statement. It doesn't need no and no but. No, I can't. No, full stop, full sentence. No, there's no comma. Put exclamation. No.
Wow.
Patricia, when Yvonne was talking about mothers not having 25 hours, so we can connect this to what Sandra is saying. You have only 24. If you're unable to prioritize, that 24 would not be enough for you. But you have no choice but to work with 24 hours. So Sandra's submission just summarizes or adds icing to the cake that Yvonne had baked earlier on. Yeah.
Yes. Let's learn to say no. You see, sometimes we think, especially Christians, then we are not there for us.
He said family members. Yvonne and family members. Hey.
We are having Women's Week in my church. I'm the president. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I've not been going. So my mommy told me today, and she was like, hey, Madam President, we've not been seeing you. I say, yes, you won't see me. I'm writing exams. It's in the evenings.
That's
I'll finish on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you will see me. Some women would say this and still feel guilty.
Yeah.
Yes.
You shouldn't. Like Sandra said, the no is just no.
No,
that's
no is no.
And then also learn to visit people. There are times I visit you not because you to also cook for me to eat. So I'll visit Emily. Relax there. She will cook. I will eat. I mean, when I'm coming, I come with my husband and children.
Entourage.
Visit people. It helps.
Strategies.
Lord, she's just in trouble. The slightest thing, we are there. We said that we have missed her soup.
Ow. That's right.
Awesome. That's why
you are also working. There are times you should just take yourself and the kids to a restaurant.
Oh.
No, it's necessary.
Hey, Sandra is the champion of that.
It's necessary.
You can enjoy yourself, relax. Not every time I have to go to the kitchen and cook.
No.
And all that.
It's important. You see, you need to make time. Listen, I keep saying that when this body is not well, everything that you do doesn't go well.
Exactly.
So you need to take care of this body. Make sure it's
absolutely
it's getting everything that it needs. Take care of you. Let your body say thank you for taking care of me. You know, but we tend to put in so many things. We take on so many commitments. Then we are judging all the balls. Now, when one ball falls, everything else begins to fall. You see,
Yeah.
let's learn how to
Exactly.
balance life.
And
Let's-
Sandra, the third one is that when we go for these programs and we come back, because we've not had time for ourselves to look good, we see our friends who are looking all put together, and we come back with emotional stress and all
Yes.
that. Hey, did you see Sandra?
Eh,
She was
and you
looking
are-
so good. Who asked
and
when
then
you were not trimmed and
your
proper?
witchy eye is looking at them.
So we need to be deliberate about this, you know.
Intentional. You need to be
Yes.
intentional.
Even the office.
Very, very necessary.
Last Friday, they had the Women's Day program. I have exam. Yes, on that day, I don't have a paper, but on Saturday, I have one. I've not read enough. I told them, you people should do this. I was in the house. I look at them, their pictures, and send the thumbs up and things. It's run.
Yeah.
You can't be everywhere for everybody. And you need the office to understand. Some people who stay there because there's an assignment to do. Over the years, they've known me 5 o'clock, my pump.
That's
If
it.
I'll stay beyond 5 o'clock, it may be 2 times in a year. Asa,
Is the
I'm
thing.
off. And weekends, I
Sometimes we
don't
feel
work.
guilty when we are
don't
leaving
work.
at 5.
When I go for leave, Claudia, it's sad because I go for leave in my village unless I'm by my grandmother's wall. The reception is not there for you to even call and tell me office matter. And as you build these boundaries, like Sandra is saying, over time they get to know that at this period, don't try this, don't go there, don't ask her to do this. She will not come. If you invite me for a funeral in Accra, I'll come on Saturday, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, I'm gone. If you want me to really chill with you, Sunday after church. I don't know, maybe my name because I won't cook some. So after church, we all come to the funeral.
It's important.
You know that no problem.
That's it.
So
That's
those
it.
of you who see people and their children at programs and you ask, why have you brought the children? We bring them so that we can
come and
balance our
eat.
lives.
So that is it. So please, let's learn.
When I go home, I'm not cooking.
I'm sure we are learning. Yes, this is special edition. We are running out in 9 minutes. But let's there are some husbands here. I mean, before you give us your final words, any of you can pick it up. What support must they provide for their wives who are mothers to have that successful career and also build a successful home? Maybe let's talk to the men.
I think that Sandra and Yvonne's husbands are perfect examples of the kind of husband you need to become the. Because when you see Yvonne and Sandra, you can tell that they have the kind of, even yourself, Patricia. Your husband. I don't need to meet any of your husbands. I can tell you marry correct men. So I think that Sandra and Yvonne can answer this question perfectly. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Over to you, Yvonne and Sandra. Talk to our men.
So,
by the way, Sandra doesn't like shopping. She doesn't like shopping. Her husband does the shopping. Can you imagine that? In Africa, you understands that. And Yvonne's husband too does shopping. He's a big boy at Legon. He will come from Legon, go home with meat.
And then the
market. These men are just they're not normal. They're not normal men, I swear.
Yeah. this afternoon, today, because my husband is around today, we went to church. We went to church today, and after church, we're talking about what we're going to have for dinner. We're just talking about it, and I said to my husband, "Oh, we don't have meat at home and all that." He says, "Okay, after church, we can just go and get some." And you know what happened? We went with the girls. My oldest is writing her exam, so she didn't go to church with us. We're giving her the time off to, like Yvonne, to just study, go write her exam before she goes back into school again. So, well, that's a different story. Now I have two of my other girls with me and my husband after church. Now they went into the supermarket. I stayed in the car. They went to the African shop. I stayed in the car. I didn't go. And it was like 2 minutes walk into the shop. I don't do grocery. I don't like it. I hate it. If you see me doing grocery, it means my husband is not around. Then I'll go and do grocery. Now, yesterday I went to an event. I was coming back. I from like 2 hours drive. I chatted with Emma from there until I got home. Now I got to a point where my diesel is like running red. I said, Emma, I miss my husband today. My fuel is empty. When my husband is around, I don't fill my car. At a point, I was driving. I didn't know that there was no water in the car. I have no idea because everything is done for me. And so now yesterday I said, Emma, hold on, I need to buy diesel. I had to go pump my own car. And I went to Emma, said, you see how you said you said why you're a spoiled wife. But now coming back to your question, before you say I do, that is when all these things start. And so when your values are aligning, your purposes in life are aligning, and you know this person has got your back, then they take it into the marriage and they even build on it. It becomes more. When you date somebody that is your biggest cheerleader, when you get married, they are still your biggest cheerleader because they want to see you succeed. They want to say, let me get this one. You know, they're just at the background. Everything I do, my husband is just at the background. You hardly see him at the front. Why? Because he's cheering you on. You can do it. So if your husband is not on that kind of a level with you, it means that when you were dating him, you didn't tell him that I want to date a man that when I get married, you have to help me. There are some men, pardon me to use this word, but common sense is not their friend. And so when they come back home from work, they sit in the living room, they take their remote and they're watching television. Whether you cook or clean or bath the baby or whatever, they think it's a woman's job. But in a marriage, we are partners. It's partnership. I think my husband even does more than I do. In as much as I do my bit, he also does more. When my neighbors see me pulling my wheelie bin out, it means my husband is out of the town. That's why you see me putting my bin outside. I don't pull bin. I'll be sleeping. When I hear the guys coming, I'll tell my husband, I think the bin guys are in. And then he'll run downstairs and put it up. But usually he puts it the night before they even come. So when you see me pulling it, it means he's out of town. And my neighbors are aware of that. When you see me doing grocery, it means my husband is out of town. Then I do it. But that is because he loves doing it. He goes, let's say he says he's a hunter. He goes bring the prey. My wife does the cooking. So he goes to the grocery and I will put the meal together. There are times when he's literally had to say to me, Sandy, you are tired. You're not cooking. It's okay. I love to cook. I can cook the whole day if you give me permission to do. I'll cook different food. He will say it's okay. The cooking is okay. But then it means that right from the word go, it was established. When my husband met me, he said I didn't even know how to cook because I established that when I'm dating you, I will not cook for you. So he thought that he doesn't know how to cook. So he was trying to tell me, one of my sisters is a caterer and he's going to come to a wedding and she does very good food. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now when we got married after honeymoon and I cooked for him, like, if I had judged you based on cooking, I would have missed that. I said, Chef Fantini, I will put my standard you will see, But then when you're dating, date right. You teach people how to treat you. And sometimes when I say that, people think I'm being too harsh, but you have to treat people how to treat you. Tell people how to treat you. Teach them, this is the way I want to be treated. And some men think that when you say that, it means you're being you're being very, very rude and all that. No, let the man also teach you, the woman, how he wants to be treated. And like I always say that when you get a good man, reciprocate it as a woman. If your husband is being good to you, man, be damn good to this man. That when he's working out, his mind is still thinking about the things you even said and did to him. Give him a good time. That when he sees you, he goes, babe, can we have a repeat of what happened last night? That kind of a thing. You have to build. Listen, good marriages were not just spoken into being. You created them. So every little helps. And with these men, they need to know these women also have got the same blood that is running through you, running through them. And they also get tired. And trust me, when a woman starts saying, I'm tired, at a point, she becomes very tired. Not just that she's tired, but tired of the relationship with you. And then you begin to lose her. And when she's not talking to you, she's not playing with you, she's not giving you sex, she's not giving you anything, you think, my wife has changed, No, you taught her how to treat you. So treat her well. When you come home, know that she's also been to, even if she's a stay-at-home mom. Listen, when somebody say they are a stay-at-home mom, their job is even more than you that go to work and you come back home. Because, hey, this baby is crying, you're picking up, this toddler needs changing, this one needs sleeping, this one needs putting down, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing, you're going on errands, you're coming. It is not easy to be a stay-at-home mom. And so you need to respect them. And as a husband, if you want to have a woman that you are proud of, be there for her, help her, support her, cherish her, encourage her, be her greatest cheerleader. And if you think she's gaining so much weight and you don't like it, wake her up at dawn and take her on a walk. Go the jogging with her. Help her to lose the weight that you want. And don't just be judgmental. You know, marriages are beautiful, but it has to be built. And together, you can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone. Wow. Thank you. I hope our men are listening. They will really take a cue from this. Thank you so much. So let's take our final words from Yvonne and then Emmeline, and then we conclude this. I wish we wouldn't end because there are a lot of things that we are learning, you know, but thank God for mothers and for sharing your experiences with us.
So, like I said in the beginning, motherhood is work in itself. And I like the last statement of Sandra, that when you are a stay-home man, your work is even more than those who go and come. It's work, but it's fulfilling. It's rewarding. You can't just be a mother by just having the kids and taking care of them. Even the taking care of them, you need money. Diapers, you can't use the cloth napkin anymore these days. We need diapers. We don't use safety pin anymore. We use the clippers. You are going out with your baby, you can't put the baby stuff in normal handbag. You need the nursing bag. It's all money, so you have to work. Good. And so you need to develop a good way of balancing your life as a mother and as a career person. Learn to seek help from around you and know that it is possible. You see all these successful women, they have mentors. We have people we look up to. I've been watching Emmeline way before we met and picking things from her from Facebook and all that. We all learn from each other every day. You to have such a system where you learn from people and be a better mother, a better career woman, and above all, a role model for your children, especially your daughters. Thank you once again for the opportunity.
Wow, thank you so much, Yvonne. This is wisdom. Thank you. Emma, your final words?
Yvonne just dropped an inspirational, message. I almost started crying. Yvonne is such an amazing woman. I don't know, but I thank you for the network I have. But I think I will speak for the single mothers. Being a single mom is one of the most challenging lifestyles you could ever find yourself in. For those out there who don't have a good support system of a husband, or probably you are a baby mama and your baby daddy does not care about you, he doesn't give, he can't be bothered. I know you're living a life of stress, but it doesn't mean you cannot live your best life. You can't compare yourself with a woman who has a functional marriage. You can't compare yourself. And there are some of you mothers who are even married, but you are single married women. Your husbands are stray husbands. Yes. So you are the one fending, you are financially supporting, emotionally supporting, all of that. It can make you lose your mind. Motherhood is a calling. Don't lean on yourself. The Bible says that do not lean on your understanding. In all that you do, get wisdom. Rely on the Lord and He will direct your path. It is not easy. Even for women with functional marriages, the stress level is not easy. Then imagine you, who you are on your own. I'm sorry, you can't do it on your own. Forget it. Because when children come, it wasn't because you wanted them to come. God brought them through you, and they are on assignment. So make sure Sandra and Yvonne spoke about wellness strategies, boundaries, and all that. If you don't learn to say no, if you don't learn to take care of yourself, I'm sorry, you will burn out. And burning out, there are mothers who have killed their children out of stress. There are mothers who have killed their kids out of hate. Let's not kid ourselves. The stories are not out there, but it's happening. It can happen to you. It can happen to you. But please post what's that thing called? After they give postnatal, what's that thing? The trauma.
Postnatal
depression.
It
depression.
is real.
Mhm.
If you need help, please call on us. Get to Patricia. She will refer you to Sandra. Sandra will refer you to a specialist. If you know that you are losing your mind, you have become psychotic, you see your child, you want to take your child away, it's dangerous. It can happen. You want to poison your child because you think your child is stressing you. And some of you feel like, I shouldn't have given birth. This child is stress to me. Once you are condoning those thoughts, please look for help, look for a
For help.
specialist. Surround yourself with healthy people. It is possible. You can make it. It can happen to you. Your child will be a blessing to you. Don't give up. You are loved and we love you.
Wow, this is so touching. Thank you so much, Emmeline, for sharing that with us. Sandra, your very
Oh, okay.
final.
I'm sorry. I thought it was just Yvonne and Emma giving the final word. So, oh, thank you so much, Yvonne. This has been very insightful. Very, I love the conversation. You know, it's not like question and answers, but then we're having a proper conversation. Yvonne, it's always a delight to hear you talk, man.
Ah, that's right. I know.
That lady, Yvonne is energy on her own. Energy.
Oh, I tell
We
you.
give God the glory. We give God the glory.
Man, it's always a joy to hear you talk. There's so much God has
We
put
give
into
God
you,
the glory.
so much wisdom
Yes,
that you're giving out, and we bless God for your life. Motherhood is a journey. It's not a one size fits all, and trust me, every age group comes with its own problems. From when they are babies to toddlers to primary school to preteens and teenagers. Oh my goodness, it all comes with its own problems. And so we learn. Motherhood is a journey that you learn on. It's not a destination for you. Even me at my age, listen, I'm heading to 50. My mother will still come and ask me if I've eaten. Can you imagine? So motherhood is it's a never ending story. It's a never ending journey. And listen, when your children hurt, you hurt. When your children are happy, you are happy. When they excel, you excel. You take pride in that, and that is the joy of being a mother. To sit back and see your children succeed, it brings you so much fulfillment. You know, and so let's learn from one another. Let's bounce off ideas from one another. Let's pray to God for wisdom as to how to bring our children up. It's very necessary. The Bible says that train a child the way he should go. And when he's older, he will not depart from it. I say train up a child in the ways of the Lord. And when he's older, he will never depart from it. Even when they are departing, God will just bring those remembrance into them little by little. Go back. It's important as a mother. The greatest disservice, if you're a Christian mother, I don't know about the other religions, but if you're a Christian mother, the greatest disservice you can do for your children is not to pray for them. Take your children to the throne room of God, contend on their behalf, enter your war room and get strategies as how to bring them up, because the enemy is walking about roaring like a lion, seeking whom he may devour. But may God forbid that your children become a casualty. May none of our children become casualties in the name of Jesus. But may they rise up and fulfill their destinies and their purposes for which God gave them.
Amen.
God grant every woman, every mother wisdom that they need to bring up their children in the fear of the Lord.
It's not easy.
Amen.
Amen.
The pastoral garment is on Sandra. Oh, thank you so much.
Right?
Awesome. It's been so
Awesome, mommy one.
Yes, thank you so much. And on behalf of Set That Consult, we wish you happy Mother's Day. Keep doing the best for your kids and keep being the inspiration that you are. We have learned a lot from you today. And anybody on the call right now, if you want to reach out to Sandra, to Yvonne,
Please.
to Emily, just reach out to me. I'll connect you. And one striking thing about them is that they're always willing to share and always available to help. Yes, they say no, but they help when they can. And I really appreciate them for that. Thank you so much, Emma. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Yvonne. And
Patricia, allow us to kindly allow us to invite any mother listening to join Real Moms Connect. We are all on the same platform. We all support each other. If you need a network to join, and you don't feel alone, okay, come on board. We help you.
A wife and a mother.
My spirit is telling me that some mothers listening.
Connect you to the Connect platform.
Patricia,
and I've learned a lot.
My spirit is telling me some mothers listening have children they cannot handle, like they're so wayward they want to give up. Please, there's counseling for that, and
Oh,
Sandra is licensed to handle that. Please,
Sandra
some of your
is
children are
there.
teenagers and they are wayward. You are hardworking. Don't worry. There's a way out. Okay. Yvonne is there, Sandra is there, they will counsel you. So take it easy. Parenthood is about patience. Do not condemn or judge your children early. There's hope for your children. It is well.
Amen. Amen.
Thank
It
you.
is well. Thank you so much.
Amen.
And yes, Real Moms Connect is really a virtual platform that if you're a mother, you need to belong to, because a lot is shared on it, a lot of inspiration, a lot of guidance, a lot of books.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. It's fun, oh, please.
Yeah.
The fun that Yvonne is saying, it's fun, oh. Don't get it twisted.
Yvonne is part of the fun. She's part of the fun.
Yvonne, we can wait for you to finish your course and come back and give us the fun, please.
Exactly.
Are becoming too boring.
Yes, thank you so
Tuesday,
much.
9 p.m. I've finished.
Okay.
We pray for you. We pray that you will pass
I still do.
in Jesus'
Yeah.
name.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen.
May He bring everything you've learned to your remembrance. As you go
Amen.
through the exam,
Amen.
the Holy Spirit Himself will explain whatever is written on the paper to you, that you will write and
Amen.
you will excel in Jesus' name.
Name.
Amen.
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 Thank you so much.
Amen.
Fosia Edu says Yvonne is an amazing woman, of course, no doubt. God bless you, ladies. Thank you so much, Fosia. Judith says, great. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Judith. Michael says, what a great program. I salute all the honorable women who appeared on the program today. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate your help and your
Salute
support.
you too. We salute you too.
Thank you so
Watch out for
much.
Father's Day edition. Watch out for Father's Day edition.
I know, right?
I know, right?
We will. Thank you so
Well,
much.
yeah,
So until we meet you next week. This has been a special edition of HR Digest, the Mother's Day edition. And God bless all mothers and give you the grace and the strength to be the great mother that you always yearn to be. God is with you. God will help you. You are not alone.
Amen.
You have support. We'll see you again
Amen.
next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Mwah.
Thank you, ladies. Bye for now. Bye-bye.